These are 10 pros about having an e-bike. If you're not sure what pros mean, it's basically the advantages of having an e-bike. The first one is that you can ride so much more than you would be able to on a normal bike. You can enjoy the scenery, enjoy the trails, enjoy being out in nature so much more on an e-bike because you're not constantly suffering and worrying about the next uphill. Now, not all of us are racing snakes and aiming to be world champion one day. Some of us just want to enjoy being out in nature and enjoy being on our bikes. If you're that person, then an e-bike is perfect for you. Instead of going out on your normal bike and being completely spent after a half an hour, you can go out on your e-bike with a fully charged battery and ride pretty much as long as you want. Hour and a half, 2 hours, 3 hours, even 4 hours. Whatever you might prefer. The second pro is that you can add so many cool accessories to your e-bike because weight is not an issue. The reason why weight isn't an issue is because you have an actual engine. You have a motor that pushes you forward. So why would you be worried about weight? All the extra weight that you might add to your e-bike is not going to impact how fast or how slow you go up the climbs. The motor does all the work for you, so you can add as many accessories as you want. Accessories as in fancy lights, a dropper post, better components, saddlebags, more than one water bottle, you can have a camelback on your back. You can pretty much take anything extra with on your rides, whether it's mounted on your bike or mounted on your actual person, as the weight of those accessories is not going to hold you back like it would on a normal bike. Pro number 3 is about the battery life of the e-bike. The batteries are super good quality, and from my experience with my e-bike and my battery lasts around 4 to 5 hours. So I charge my e-bike maybe 3 times a week and I ride every single day. But believe it or not, I have still managed to get myself stuck on the trails with a flat battery. So make sure you charge your battery enough and just make sure you don't get stuck on the trails like I do quite frequently with a flat battery. Because pedaling an e-bike without the motor being activated is not as easy as you might think. It's actually very difficult because e-bikes are very heavy. My e-bike weighs 24 kilograms. And just to put it into perspective for you, a normal bike like my previous bike, which was quite a top-end bike, weighed about 11.5 kilograms. So that's a huge difference. That's pretty much double the weight, if not more than double the weight. The fourth pro is walk assist. Now, I'm pretty sure walk assist comes with most e-bikes, but I'm sure there are 1 or 2 e-bikes out there that don't have walk assist. Now, basically what walk assist is if there's an uphill that's too technical or any type of feature that you can't ride, you can get off your bike, press a button, and the e-bike's motor will start turning the back wheel of your bike, which means you don't have to push that heavy bike next to you. The bike kind of pushes itself. All you have to do is hold it up and pretty much steer it. So that's a really nice feature, and I have used this myself. I've even used the walk assist while being on the bike. It does push you forward, but you go super slowly. The fifth pro is that e-bikes come with different modes. My e-bike has 4 modes: Eco, Tour, EMTB, and Turbo. Eco being the weakest and Turbo being the strongest. So if you're feeling energized and you're having a good day, you can just use the eco mode. The eco mode is slightly easier than pedaling a normal bike. And if you're having a bad day and you just have absolutely no energy and no power, you can put the bike on turbo, and basically with the weight of your legs on the pedals, the bike's gonna go forward. So what I'm trying to say is, if you use turbo, you barely have to put any of your own power down and the bike will go. The sixth pro is that you can ride with friends or with a group of people that are much more advanced than you without having to have the same fitness as them. If you want to ride with a group of mates and you know that they're gonna drop you on your normal bike, this won't be a problem for you if you had an e-bike. I hear of a lot of people who are not confident enough, or they know that they won't be able to keep up with a certain group of friends that they want to ride with. And they really do want to ride with these people. So the e-bike is the perfect solution for this because you won't be holding anybody back and you're not going to embarrass yourself. The seventh pro is that because weight isn't an issue with e-bikes, e-bikes generally come out with very thick tires and a lot of suspension, which makes your riding experience just much more comfortable and actually safer, because you have more grip, more suspension, and more room for error. The more suspension travel you have, the softer your ride is going to be, the bigger jumps you can take, and the more confidence you'll have in your bike. And the thicker tires you have, the more grip you're going to have, and tires also act as a second suspension if you pump them to the correct pressure. The eighth pro is that you don't need to have a carbon bike. A lot of people think that they need a carbon bike because it's so much lighter than an aluminium bike. But once again, back to the weight aspect. Weight does not play a role with e-bikes, guys, unless you are doing single track and jumping. The handling of the bike is slightly different, but other than that, on the climbs and just general fitness, weight is not an issue. So you don't need a carbon e-bike. Carbon e-bikes are ridiculously expensive. I have an aluminium e-bike, full suspension, and my e-bike costs more than my car. So just imagine what the carbon top-end e-bikes cost. It's ridiculous, guys. So you don't need that. But if you're willing to spend the money, then why not? The 9th pro is that e-bikes come with a key, and the key is to remove the battery out of the frame. So if you want to charge your e-bike in the house, you don't have to bring your entire bike up the stairs, down the stairs, through the corridor, through the passage, into this bedroom, to that bedroom, to put it on charge. What a mission. You can just use the key, unlock the bike, take the battery out, and put it on charge somewhere in the house. But if you're like me and you charge the bike in the garage, you can simply just use an extension lead, leave the battery in the bike and charge it like that. Whatever works better for you. The 10th pro is that maintenance on an e-bike is not much different to the maintenance on a regular bike. I've had my e-bike now for over a year and I haven't really spent any more money than I would have on a normal bike. The only thing is I had my motor serviced, which costed a little bit of money, but that's just something that you have to do with an e-bike to keep the e-bike in tip-top condition. Because if you neglect servicing of the motor especially, you are going to run into some serious problems later on in your e-bike journey. But other than that, I haven't really spent any money on it now that I think about it. So those were my 10 pros of having an e-bike. I hope you maybe found this video entertaining or maybe even learned something from it. I'm planning to do 10 cons of an e-bike in the next video, so subscribe and stay tuned for that, because it's not all sunshine and roses. Leave me a comment down below, I'd love to know what you guys thought about this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Cheers.